So this week, famine has been officially declared in Gaza by everyone's favorite useless international law-abiding organizations. We already knew there was a famine in Gaza, but they've put their rubber stamp on it, which makes the mainstream media happy to talk about it now. Even the BBC is saying that Israel caused famine in Gaza now. They're getting brave. So the IPC, the Integrated Food Security Phase Classification, says that more than 500,000 people across Gaza are facing catastrophic conditions characterized by starvation, destitution, and death. And this is like a UN famine classification body. And then of course the BBC has to include Israel's response. Israel's response to like a detailed report by like the Liberal International Order's most eminent organization for when you're allowed to say something is a famine or not, that's a lie. And the BBC, of course, includes that in here as if there's any merit to that compared to the report. Thank you so much for presenting both sides. The unbiased BBC here. Like, it's like writing an article about whether the earth is flat or not, and you give like a real fair shout to the earth is flat position without talking about how different these two positions actually are in terms of their evidence and their making any sense at all. There's a certain point where the appeal to authority fallacy is so overwhelming that maybe it's not a fallacy anymore. And this is one of those cases because more than 100 like international humanitarian human rights groups and all those sorts of things have said that there's a famine in Gaza, there's genocide in Gaza, that sort of thing, right? And the reason why in this case that might actually mean something is because these are the sorts of like liberal, like cut-out NGOs funded by the very governments in many cases that are pro-Israel, like the UK government, the EU, the US government, stuff like that. If these organizations that would usually be very careful about saying anything negative about like the allies and the associates of their own like backers are willing to go this far with denouncing Israel, it actually means something. Usually you can like roll your eyes at how these organizations talk about like US enemy countries, like, you know, their human rights reports about Venezuela or whatever. But when they are like, when the situation is so bad that they are willing to go against their own like backers, their own geopolitical positions, that they sort of consciously or not exist to further, that means a lot more. And so that's why when they say this stuff about Israel, you know, it's an indicative of the fact that the situation is so absurdly bad that even they cannot feasibly cover for it anymore, and they feel obligated to say something. So in this case, you know, it's not really an appeal to authority anymore. When it's, you know, it's like Hitler being denounced by Heinrich Himmler for doing the Holocaust. At that point, it's like, okay, man, okay, maybe the Holocaust is real. If even Himmler's saying it, you know, it just might be that, denying is untenable. That's the same sort of thing here. So the IPC says that an immediate at-scale response is needed, or there will be an unacceptable escalation in famine-related deaths. Yeah, obviously, we've been saying this for months. There's been massive malnutrition, but now it's like malnutrition that is going to be killing people en masse. A third of the population is going to be facing catastrophic food conditions, and they have projected that this could increase to 1.14 million, or 58% of the population soon. And this is only the fourth famine that the IPC has declared in the 20 years since it has been formed. The BBC interviewed a mother, a 29-year-old mother of a 5-year-old, who said that her daughter's weight has dropped from 19 kilograms to 10.5 kilograms since the beginning of the genocide. She said that her daughter was healthy before the war began and has no prior illnesses. What's like the healthy weight of a 5-year-old? So a healthy weight for a 5-year-old is right around 18 kilograms, according to Google's random AI answer, which I trust unequivocally because I have no brain, I'm a clanker. So her child has gone from a healthy weight, 19 kilos, to starvation, basically, 10 kilograms. Her child, who's 5 years old, weighs as much as like a 2 or a 3-year-old. And this is like, you know, the age where being deprived of food, even if you do not literally die from this deprivation, is going to have incredibly long-lasting effects on your physical development. So this is like condemning an entire generation of children, even if they survive, to lifelong health problems, just basic growth problems. And this is precisely what Israel fucking wants. This is why they're doing this, obviously. You don't deprive people of food like this unless you're doing it on purpose and you want this to happen. Foreign Secretary David Lammy described the famine as a moral outrage. The Israeli government's refusal to allow sufficient aid into Gaza has caused this man-made catastrophe, he wrote in X. Yeah, we fucking know. Everyone knows. Even Trump said this is bad and that people are starving in Gaza. All the people who did this are now like, how could this have happened? We didn't see this coming. Even the BBC has articles now headlined how Israel's policies created famine in Gaza. The BBC, one of the most notorious Israel-protecting mainstream news outlets, is sitting here like, Israel did this. Yes, we know. We know. I'm glad you're on board. We've been saying this for 2 fucking years, you cunts. So yeah, there was already a famine in Gaza, but now I guess it's been declared by the UN, so it's really happening. For real. There's no denying this. The only people saying it's not happening are like Israel, a genocidal country of 9 million people that pays a lot of people to post on social media and pretend that this shit isn't happening. All of the pro-Israel mainstream media in the US, in the UK and stuff are on board, are like against them now. The shit is so bad that they can't even say it's not happening anymore. So give me a fucking break with this shit, man. Wonder what our friend Lonerbox has to say about this. Just gotta check him out. Gotta keep tabs on Loner. He's just making videos about Hassan Piker. Lonerbox's latest Gaza video is, it's too much to think about. It's so hard to find honest coverage on Gaza. What's your next video? It's so hard to find honest coverage on the Holocaust? Oh my god, you've been doing genocide propaganda this whole time. Shut the fuck up. People are starving and you help to starve them. I can't wait for you to face punishment and consequences for what you've done.